Have you ever looked at someone else and felt like you were somehow less? Like no matter how hard you try, someone is always a step ahead of you. Maybe they're smarter. Maybe they look better. Maybe they have more opportunities, more support, more luck. And quietly, without even noticing, you begin to shrink inside yourself. This is the story of a boy named Ethan who lived with that feeling every single day, until one moment changed everything. Ethan lived in a peaceful village, surrounded by forests and rolling green hills. He was kind, gentle, thoughtful, and always tried his best. But Ethan had a habit. Whenever he saw someone succeed, he didn't feel inspired, he felt small. When one boy ran faster than him, Ethan thought, "I'll never be good enough." When another answered questions quicker, he thought, "Why can't I be smart like him?" When someone bought new clothes or toys, he whispered to himself, "Maybe I don't deserve nice things." Ethan never said these words out loud, but they lived inside him, heavy, quiet, and painful. And slowly, they began to change the way he saw himself. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into years. On the outside, Ethan smiled. It was polite-friendly, helpful. But on the inside, he carried a storm. He avoided trying new things, afraid someone would always be better. He avoided speaking his ideas, afraid they wouldn't be as good. He stopped believing in himself. And the saddest part, no one around him knew. Because comparison is a silent poison. It does not shout. It whispers. One quiet morning, as sunlight filtered through the trees, Ethan sat alone near the river. That's when he heard footsteps. It was Grandpa Joe, an old man known not for his wealth or achievements, but for the peace he carried. His presence felt like warm tea on a cold morning. He sat beside Ethan and asked gently, "Why does your heart look heavy, child?" Ethan hesitated, but something inside him opened. He said quietly, "I try. I really try. But there is always someone better. Someone stronger, faster, smarter. And when I look at myself, I don't see anything special." Grandpa Joe listened with eyes full of understanding, not judgment. He stood and said, "Come. I want to show you something." They walked together into the forest. A forest Ethan had seen 1,000 times, but never truly looked at. They stopped among the trees. Tall trees, short trees, thin trees, wide trees. Trees with flowers, trees with fruit, trees with nothing but branches. Grandpa Joe asked, "Do you see how different they all are?" Asang nodded. "Tell me," the old man continued, "do you think the apple tree wishes to be tall like the coconut tree?" Ethan laughed softly. "No, that would be silly." Grandpa Joe smiled. "Yet, you wish to be someone else, just as silly." Ethan's smile faded. Then they walked to a small pond. A bird flew above them. A fish swam below. Grandpa Joe asked, "If the fish tried to fly like the bird, would it feel like a failure?" Ethan nodded. "Yes, it would. But," the old man continued, "if it swims, it can cross the entire lake." Ethan's eyes widened, like something inside him shifted. He whispered, "The problem was never me. It was the way I was measuring myself." Grandpa Joe smiled gently, as though he had been waiting for Ethan to say those words. From that day forward, Ethan made a decision. He would not compare his path with anyone else's. He would grow at his own pace. He would discover his own strengths. He would become the best version of himself, not the copy of someone else. At first, it was difficult. The old thoughts tried to return. "You're not good enough. You'll never match them. Why even try?" But Ethan answered them calmly. "I don't need to be better than them. I only need to be better than I was yesterday." And day by day, he grew. He studied with curiosity, not fear. He practiced his skills, not to impress, but to improve. He found joy in small progress, in quiet victories. Ethan's steps became lighter. His voice became steadier. His heart became free. And slowly, people began to notice. Not because Ethan was trying to impress them, but because a person who accepts themselves carries a glow that cannot be ignored. Years later, Ethan became someone others admired, not because he was the strongest, the smartest, or the fastest, but because he was authentically himself. People came to him for guidance. Children looked up to him, and when someone asked, "What changed your life?" he smiled gently and said, "A fish does not need to fly. A bird does not need to swim, and I do not need to be someone else. I only need to be myself." Remember this: the sun and the moon do not compare. They shine when it is their time. You do not need to hurry. You do not need to compete. You do not need to prove your worth. You are already enough. Just walk your path. Grow at your pace. Shine in your moment. Stop comparing. Start living.